I think when I think about the stock market and like what it teaches you about yourself, like you think you know yourself, but there's a saying like, no matter where you go, there you are, right? So like if you're a negative person, like no matter where you go, there you are. You could be in the most positive environment. You could be up in heaven and you'd be like, man, God, why it take so long? like you find something wrong with anything because you're a negative person. So like no matter where you go, there you are. And so it's the same thing with trading or investing or putting money to work. It's like no matter what your money habits is, no matter what your money habits are, there you are, right? No matter where you go. So it's the main reason why people like hit the lottery and like they end up going broke, or they end up in, most times, in a worse financial situation than they were before they won the lottery, because it's not about winning the lottery. Whatever their financial habits were before winning the lottery, that's their financial habits when they get a ton of money. So if they go was party, spend it all, we good, we'll figure it out later, they really go party, spend it all, we good, figure it out later. And it's the same thing with the stock market. It'll reveal stuff about you that you didn't know about yourself, or at least you didn't think was true about yourself. So if you're an impatient person, you go start noticing like, yep, I got in this investment, said it was gonna take 12 months. Your impatience kicked in and it's like, been 30 days and you like, man, this stock ain't moving. I'm shutting it down. I'm gonna take a loss or I'm gonna get out. And then eventually stock goes up or whatever, does what you thought it was gonna do. But you start to see like, man, like I'm impatient and it's showing up in my trading. If you're a gambler or you just like doing hot boy stuff, you know, like I'm gonna go down to the casino, put it all on black. Like if that's who you are, it's gonna show up in the stock market. Cause you just gonna be like, man, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna put it all on black. If it hit, it hit. Like when people use words like that, like in the market, like if it hit, you're like, man, what, are you treating this like a Las Vegas crap table? Like if it hit. But no matter where you go, there you are. So you start using that same language in the stock market. Cause if you are a gambler, then that's how you look at things. If it hit, you look at it like there's no strategy, there's no risk reward. It's all luck. It's all luck. I'm either lucky today or I'm not lucky. I'm either lucky and pick that stock or I'm not. And you can't build a lifestyle like that. You can't build a lifestyle off luck. You can't build an investment thesis long-term off luck. And so what ends up happening is the stock market really will have you looking inside and saying like, who am I? What type of person am I? Am I a person that's impatient? Am I a person that's a gambler? Do I take calculated risk or do I just take any risk and just see what happens, see if Lady Luck shows up? With the stock market, it's gonna test your patience. It's gonna test, do I really want what I say I want it? Like so many people be like, I want the Ferrari, I want the house on the lake, I wanna be home in the middle of the day with my children, right? Everybody says that with their mouth, but like, are you willing to pay the price of what it takes to achieve that? And when I mean by pay the price, you'd be like, cool, you can have that, but it's gonna take you 6 months to learn the industry. You'd be like, okay, I can do the 6 months. Well, okay, and you have to buy a course. You're like, well, how much it costs? It's like, no matter where you go, there you are. Because if you're a person that's more worried about how much it costs versus what's the value that this is gonna return to me. So it's like, okay, where do I sign up for the course? Because as long as it will get me freedom, spend time with my kids, what I said I want, typically there's no price you wouldn't pay or no reasonable price you wouldn't pay. You know what I'm saying? Because I would ask, what's the price on being able to be home with your kids? What's the price on being able to get them in that school district? What's the price on being able to drive your dream car and have fun? What's the price on being able to live on the lake or in whatever your dream house is, your dream area of the world? What's the price on that? And that's an important question to ask yourself, because really what it's saying is, you know, would you ever be like, that sounds good, I'm willing to have all that, only if it costs about $3,000. But if it costs $3,050, nah, I'm straight. Forget living where I want to live, driving what I want to drive, being home with my kids, I max out at $3,050. So if it's $3,000 or less, I'm gonna go for it. That wouldn't make sense, and nobody would really say that. It's the same thing like with time. It says, well, it'll take you 6 months to learn this. Like, would you ever just be like, 6 months, I'm straight. If it took 3 months to be free, to be financially free, drive the car, live in the house, be with my kids, whatever the case may be, I'd do it. But 6 months, it's a little too long. Can we get it down to 3? If we can't get it down to 3, it ain't worth it. It's like, that don't make sense. Most people go to school for 4 years just to come out, work for somebody else and make $40,000, $50,000 a year. And they willing to commit 4 years for that. But it's funny when you talk about freedom, financial freedom, time freedom, enjoying some of the finer things in life, watches, the expensive and fun cars. It's like, I'll give it 6 months, but if it's longer than 6 months, like, I'm straight. Like, you should be at minimum willing to give it 4 years like most people give to college. You at least can accept that. You probably gonna tell your kids to go to college. So what are you telling yourself? And maybe you don't. You know, we live in an era where some people don't go to college. I get it. But I'm saying the masses would typically accept. Let me put it this way, because you might be watching this like, I wouldn't tell my kid to go to college. Let me put it this way. If your cousin or your family member, somebody said, we having a graduation party, such and such going to college, most people would do what? Congratulations. Oh, you going to Michigan State University. You going to Duke. You going to Howard, Morehouse. You going to NYU, New York University or something like that, or California, University of California, right? You would be congratulating them, right? You'd be excited for them because you expect like, oh, that's good. 4 years, great college, right? But then when we turn around and be like, are you willing to put in 4 years to be financially free? Be like, man, I wouldn't do it. If it's 6 months, I'm good. Anything longer than that, that's too long. Or how about I tried it for a year, right? Like, oh, okay. I guess if you're not financially independent in a year, like that's all your dreams and goals was worth, right? So I really think this
is a good take too. I will have to cut that out.
Hey, look, the gimbal almost fell. Woo! We almost lost $1,000 camera, but it still would have been worth it to drop this fire content. But anyway, I want you to think about your goals and really think about like, what is it worth? Not just financially, but time, commitment, and effort, because those are the other things that's gonna count towards you getting there. Just buying the course or enrolling in the program doesn't make you successful. So many people enroll in school and never graduate, right? But no one says like school's a scam, right? No, some people don't do the work it takes to graduate. Some people do the work it takes to graduate, but they won't do the work it takes to get hired. They don't interview well. They don't want to hire an interview coach. They don't want to sell themselves. I'm not a salesperson. It's like, well, there's one more level. There's always another level. You finish high school, it's college. You finish college, you can go to grad school. You go to grad school, you can go get your PhD. Get your PhD, you still got to sell yourself and figure out how to get a job, right? So, I mean, there's always a level. And so you should always be learning because the stock market is always going to be teaching you about yourself.